All right.
Hello and welcome to Women's Wellness Wednesday with your host, Tyrika.
And Teresa.
Welcome. So this evening we have a special treat. We already have our special guest with us in film, in screen, the beautiful Miss Jade. T, can you give us a little bit about Miss Jade before we go into our intros?
Yes, Jade is one of my bestest friends. She's been with me through the trenches. We met in college. She got me through some really, really tough times as I was like dealing with some difficulties with my mom and my grades. She really, truly, truly held me down. She is a Philadelphia native.
Okay.
And she is my sugarfoot. I'm sure some of you have seen my post of my little chocolate drop, Nasir. That is her son, and my pudding. And this is Jade.
Wonderful. Jade, thank you so much for joining us. That was a hell of an intro. I'm super excited that you're here. So before we get into the thick of things, I'd like to go over some key points, what we do here on Women's Wellness Wednesday. We are welcoming, we are warm. What I want to go over is our slew of shows, what we have here on the Big Exclusive Network. We have some great things coming. Our hashtag is We Are Coming. So be on the lookout for some great things to come. I'd like to start with Monday. Monday, we have Melanated Vibrations. Monday with the beautiful duo, Adarius and Dom.
My boo.
Dom and Adarius. They are two licensed therapists who bring the warmth, the group therapy, the stats. I love the fact that Dom always has something to refer to. Exactly. Melanated Vibrations on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us as a family, as a network, to support these young ladies in what they do. And they're all about healing, being informational, and showing up for themselves.
And judgment-free. Judgment-free. Bring up
free.
Any type of mental health struggles or stories that you're battling with. They're going to give you the guidance that you need. Dynamic duo. Appreciate those two.
The guidance that you need, the hotline numbers that you need, all of the above, anything that you need to help you in the time of crisis, or to give you the panel and the guidance to just be free with them in that space. So, some people shy away from therapy. Come to group therapy with us on Monday. It's a safe place. On Tuesdays, we have Big Exclusive himself, the Big Exclusive podcast with Angry OG.
OG.
Big Exclusive himself and our comedian, our in-house comedian, Top Flight.
Shout out to Flight, doing big things, Flight. Come on, somebody.
Oh, right now, this podcast is known to go off the rails. They are live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join the fellas. They, too, bring the heat. You never know where they're going to go.
If you can't stand the heat, keep that ass out the kitchen because they're going to bring it.
Tell them again.
If you can't take the heat, keep that ass out the kitchen because it gets dusty on Tuesdays.
It gets dusty on Tuesdays. And then we have Wednesdays with myself and the beautiful Teresa on Women's Wellness Wednesday at 6 p.m. each and every Wednesday with yours truly. Here on Women's Wellness Wednesday, we create, again, a safe place for people to come be themselves, get loose, and chit-chat with the ladies. Each podcast has that same exact formula. Come chit-chat with us. Come laugh with us. Come get emotional with us. Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Either day, you're welcome. Whatever your flavor is, pick a day. We have something. We also have Ant on Thursdays, which is new.
Shout out to Ant
Money, the experience. So when I read that, I feel like, dun, 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 like the experience. So, tune in for that. Strap up, whatever strap up means to you, because it's an experience. So you need to be strapped and ready. And that's on Thursdays. I'm not sure of the time. Big E, can you drop the time in our comments so no one is late? Everyone is on time for the experience. On Fridays, we have big exclusive, he's coming out with these special episodes. We're featuring different people.
Different people. A panel.
A special guest is a special guest. I never know what he has up his sleeve. He gives us the heads up and we show up. And believe it or not, each and every time it's something special. He never disappoints on this Friday, this special edition. The Ant Money Experience, Thursdays at 7. So now that we've gotten the maintenance, we've set the stage for what we do here on BEN, and I truly pick a flavor. So when I say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and the special edition on Friday, you can pick a flavor, whatever your twist is. Seriously, right. We have a little something for everybody, and that's the intent. We want to bring something different each and every week, and these shows show up for you guys each and every week, and we're so happy to do so. Tonight's show, T, do you want to intro the show?
Well, wait, let's talk about our Wind Down Wednesday, boo. Tell me how your week has been.
Wind Down Wednesday. So, okay. So for me today, Stan got in trouble. It hurt me more than it hurt him, but the tantrum that he experienced, he needed, the gentle parenting wasn't an option.
Period.
I tried.
Period.
I wholeheartedly tried. And I said, enough's enough. And, he was disciplined. And again, it probably hurt me more than it hurt him, but the falling out. So that was today. Monday was phenomenal. Tuesday was phenomenal. Today was phenomenal. That was just a moment in my day. And that was the most recent moment.
Got it.
I am getting ready for a presentation on Sunday and Monday. So I'm super nervous. Thank you. I'm super nervous, super busy. Things are starting to elevate. And I'm trying to keep up. So I feel great. It's just a lot that's going on. So I feel good. This week is a good week. It's showtime. I need to show up for myself in a big, big way. 2 days in a row, consecutively, Sunday and right into Monday. So just trying to feel the feels, bring it down a bit, and get grounded. So I got big things coming. So that's how my week has been thus far.
Good. Well, you're going to do great this weekend.
Thank you.
And you also already know you call me and bounce ideas off, and you're going to do great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So my week, this weekend I had the wedding. Yay. Despite the rain and how cold it was so beautiful. Nice. Shout out to Alicia, the new bride, and Sean, the groom. Had an amazing time with my girls. And then this week has been really great. I'm happy that tomorrow's already Thursday.
Me too.
This week is fine. It is. I agree. Hey, Jessica.
Hi. We had a few people stop in and say hello. Big E, thank you, Dom. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for tagging folks. We always appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Hey, hello, Juan. How are you? Juan. Thank you for pulling up. Hi, Miss Sonia. Hello, Tiff.
Hey, El Presidente.
Cousin Keish. What's up?
Guys.
Hi, James.
Hey, James. And Slim Exclusive.
How are you? Hi, Cuz. Hey, Kel.
Hey, Auntie.
So, thanks. Thanks so much. So if you're having a show idea and you would like to join the BEN team, email. The email is below. We are more than welcome to hear your ideas, hear you out. The producer is great with filtering what works and what doesn't. Please definitely share what you have going on, if anything. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations to the bride and groom. For sure, for sure. So, I'm so excited, T. And I'm excited because I can speak on this topic, I guess, educationally, because I lived it. You know what I mean? So I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from, firsthand. And I truly, really want to know, why as women, as mothers, let's be clear, as mothers, we make the decisions that we make. and there's a protective piece, there's a safety piece to it
Mhm.
all. So I'm eager to, as a new mom, to hear their perspectives. But I want to take a step back and also say that I'm someone's daughter.
Right.
So, there's a huge piece to that, of how my chemical makeup is, how I operate and how I'll raise my son. So, ladies and gentlemen, the topic is, mothers raise their daughters, yet love on their sons. So there's a clip. I don't know if we're ready for it right yet, but I just want that to kind of resonate with some folks. Mothers raise their daughters, yet love on their sons. T, before the video, there was it's loaded. Thank you, Big E. Before the video, oh, Brittany, thank you so
Love
much.
you, baby B.
So I don't know if some are familiar. Shannon may be, due to the media and all the stuff that he's into and what comes across his desk as far as streaming and hot content. So Kirk Franklin recently, or I just recently seen a meme with him and his mom. And what the meme or the video consisted of was Kirk Franklin. He received DNA results. There was question. He had question about who his father was. And so he went and got the DNA. I believe his mother agreed. She wasn't bamboozled into it. She agreed to the DNA test. Once the DNA test came out, the DNA test proved that A was not the father, yet B was. So even with the results in front of mom's face, mom insisted that A was the father, despite what the DNA test said.
And Dana don't lie.
So to unpack that a bit, what is one to do with that? Your mother is saying A is your father. You're both reading the results,
right?
And it says that he's not,
right?
And she's not changing her answer. How do you? And then you grew up with this person, said A as your father. Hey, Deandra, said A as your father. Thank you, Miss Sonia.
Yes, ma'am. Agreed, 1,000,000,000%. And she needs some help, and that's okay. She needs some help. She's delusional. She's in denial. And she might need some therapy.
That's major denial. But I think that, I mean, I can only imagine what that would feel like. I've never been in those shoes or anything like that. I can only imagine what it feels like. But at the same time, I think that it's a plus of him being so much older now to get that information, to be able to understand the adult part of it, especially with the denial, since it sounds like he may not get an answer to that, or why she is insisted upon saying that A is the father when B is.
So Jade, it's confusing because it's like you see it, and I think there's a part that Kurt wants mom for him to say to him, son, said B is your father.
Right.
So that piece is really important to Kurt. It sounds like he went public. Mom was there, I'm assuming willingly. There was no blur of her face or anything. So she was a willing participant. And we believe that on the BEN network, consent and willing participants. Hey, Creamy, how are you? So thank you. So I applaud Kurt and his approach with her. Me too. He was really hurt, Miss Carol. He was really hurt. The video showed the restraint that it took for him to endure mom's denial. And she didn't become enraged, but she was passionate about the DNA being a lie. So maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe.
It just sounds like mom just not ready to be honest with herself. It sounds like some
Yeah, there's
really
some
level layers.
Yeah, there's some layers to that situation.
Yeah.
But this man had to grow up with that.
Right.
You know, so it's just something to take a look at as mothers, as women. You know, we want the best for our children, but at what cost? You know, and are we being honest?
And I've always said this, you know, parenting doesn't come with a handbook. So we're literally learning and growing daily with our children. Yes. And I think it's super commendable that he approached his mom with this, because I think it is a challenge sometimes for parents to hear their children kind of hold them accountable for things. But we need to be able to listen to our children when they speak to us, because that's how we become the best parents we can be for them.
Right. So Big E asked a really good question. T, do you have white music playing in the background?
I do. Is it too loud?
He could just hear it. It's fine. We just were making sure that it wasn't anything through the stream.
My dog has anxiety and depression, and so he needs this noise in order to maintain his composure. I apologize.
I love that. I hear music. Thank you, Aunt. It was supposed to be there, LOL. Yes.
Thank you.
So, Big E, put up, there was a comment that I wanted to run back to. I'm not really sure where it was or who it was. I think Aunt said something about the contrast. Okay. Even with the consent, I can see her being embarrassed. Right. She definitely looked embarrassed. And I believe that she was. Yeah, she definitely was embarrassed. But Aunt, she knew, despite what the DNA test said, or maybe she didn't know. Maybe this was the first time of her hearing it. I don't know that, so I don't want to misspeak. So maybe, you know, hearing it for the first time, Jade was like, okay.
Right. I mean, it could be a possibility. It could be, but yeah,
you never know.
Right. It's just a shame that she is unable to really talk about it.
Oh, I think she's frozen. So it's unfortunate when situations like that occur, because that Kurt had to go through a lot in life. Hey guys,
no, sorry about that. Technical difficulty. I apologize.
It's all live. She was embarrassed, and she told him that the other man was his father. Right. And I was just saying, you know, Kurt has gone through some things in his life that we've been privy to throughout his music career, and different, you know, I don't want to misspeak, but he's been through some things. And so we don't know if it has anything to do with him not ever knowing the truth, or just battling with the fact of the unknown.
Right.
You know, maybe he never really could resonate with this man that was supposed to be his father. We never know what that is and what that feels like for an individual. I think that mom's perspective is A, took care of you, so A is your father. Okay, Juan.
And I can appreciate that, but that's not a decision for mom to make.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my perspective. Like, there's a difference between, you know, a father and a dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, my daughter is blessed to have a man that's not biologically her dad, that she refers to as father because he stepped in. But I'm not going to tell her that that's your father, because it's not. And even though he has raised her, I'm not going to tell her A is your father because B wasn't there. That's not for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that?
I agree with that. I understand that.
So there's a video that we're going to watch. It's not very long, but it gives a perspective on what the topic of the show is, why women raise their daughters and love on their sons. And the part that I want to dive into it all. So let's go into the video, and then we can dissect as we go through.
Mm-hmm.
Biggie.
First half and this half is when he said, why is the mamas raising their daughters and loving their sons? And And I think we got to look at that, because that's very deep seated when we're talking about things starting at home, because a lot.
So we have to look at that because it starts at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted us to just give our opinion, not really hear what those panel of women had to say in reference to why they believe women raise their daughters yet love on their sons.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a piece of that I also want to touch on too, because at some point, do you remember hearing that women should make it okay? I decided at my own age and time if I wanted to call my bonus parent Ma Pa.
Thank you, Ma. That's my daughter for sharing. Thank you, baby.
I like that. So T, when, I think there was a time where we said as women, or it was said as women, as mothers, that we should love on our sons and not make them so rough and so tough that, when they do fall, it's okay to cry, instead of saying, boy, get up, or dust it off. So there was a point where it was okay, or it was celebrated to love on your son in that way, to celebrate, or, to acknowledge that he had a boo-boo, rather than say, don't feel. Because are we raising men, or are we loving on men who don't have feelings and just get over things so quickly because they're not feeling?
Right.
But then are we raising our daughters so stern and less rigid that they can't be vulnerable to a man, because our parents, I was born in 82, raised me to be strong, independent, and all of the above. And also with pressure of stressors, helping out with the siblings. But when you have the boys, I felt get a free ride sometimes, because you have mom nurturing you, you have your big sister nurturing you. So then when you become this big age as an adult, do you still expect the nurturing? Because all the independent stuff that I was given, were you given that too? Right. Or what did that look like if it was given? That's what I got.
So for me, it's cultural.
Okay.
So in a Hispanic home, in my experience, my mother taught me always to cater. So if dad needs to eat, if your brothers need to eat, they're served before you. I'm ironing clothes. I'm doing all of that. It's all about catering and nurturing the men.
Okay.
So I wasn't raised necessarily to be independent. However, like, that's obviously, as I grew up and became a young mom at a young age, is kind of something I developed on my own.
My parents were rough on me, and I feel it was preparation for dealing with the world. I am also the oldest. I appreciate that, Aunt.
Thank you.
I'm the oldest too in my situation as well. I feel like all children need balance, no matter the sex. I can appreciate
that. I agree with that 1,000%.
I'm so interested in what the women have to say about this, because I have so many thoughts on the opposite of the situation, and I can get barbecued for my views on it. I don't think, not here, Shannon, we don't barbecue. Right. I welcome it, and I actually want the different perspective, because, as an older sibling, or as the oldest, as a female sibling, there was a lot of pressure on me. And there was a time in my life where I called my mom booing and hooing about life on life terms in reference to my brothers. And she actually said, cut the cord. I release you. The pressures that she put on me, or right. The pressures that I was feeling at the young age of, I'm 20 something and trying to figure out how so-and-so is going to get his flight, and how he's going to get his cell phone bill paid. And my mom's like, well, they're grown. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but there was still. So I'm eager to hear the different perspective, Shannon. And go ahead, Jay.
See, well, my upbringing was like different. Unfortunately, like, my parents were around like physically, but weren't really like there. So what I picked up along the way, just from different women that I've met in my past, I do agree. Like, I do think it's a cultural thing, just for, in my household of a Black home, it's like, it's always, like you said, the women cater to the men. We cook, we clean, and stuff like that. But I feel like that's a little bit of like, that got a little bit of like the society base in it too, because those are just considered roles for women. And I feel like me coming up, I never fully understood like why is the cooking and the cleaning just up to the female when we could go out and get jobs as well. So like, it was always something that I always came across, as I said, from different women that I met in my path, but it seemed like that's what was taught on to the next generation, just because it's like I don't want to say like a generational curse.
Yeah.
That's what
Shannon, if you can run that comment back from Maya Swift, that's exactly what it is. It's literally, I think it's a domino effect. What you've seen modeled is usually what you do, hence generational traumas and curses.
Yep.
I think that's 1,000,000,000% true.
Accurate.
Because I for a long time literally mirrored my mom.
Learned behavior.
And it wasn't until actually Maya was like, Mom, you're not doing anything different than Wella, and you're unhappy, so you got to switch it up, break these generational curses.
Right. I'm the oldest as well. No choice was given not to take care of my sister or my little cousins.
Yeah.
Yes, I grew up the same way in a Hispanic household, but once I hit 13, life changed. But for my children, I have one girl and two boys, and I raised them completely different from how I was raised. My loving on them and hardness on them is based purely on their needs / personalities.
Sure.
Thank you, Jessica. I love that. I think I'm 10 years older than my brother. My mom and dad were a lot more harder on me than my brother was terrible, always getting into trouble. Tiffany. So I have a piece of that too. So my younger brother constantly got in trouble. But my mom, for whatever reason, just coddled him. Then people harbor resentment, and you hear, and I never want to get married or have kids.
That's true.
Unless it's Maya, right.
She is enemy.
As the baby, my sister made so many mistakes. My mom doubled down on me.
Yeah, that happens too.
As the oldest, there's so many responsibilities that I had, and Tiffany's comment, I felt like she was reading my thought. A lot of pressure, being the oldest sibling, having to take care of your brothers, and then your brother was bad. My brother was active. My brother has a big heart. He has a big heart now. He was very charismatic then, and he was very feisty. So he took a lot of energy, but he was loved on in a different way, where I try to think, like, I'm so rigid at times, and he's so loose. So I'm like, were we born in the same house? Like, were we raised in the same house? So I don't know.
I feel like,
go ahead, Jade.
I'm sorry. But I feel like, especially when siblings are included, I feel like the oldest ones, cause I mean, I'm one of 7, but I'm the third one. But I feel like the oldest ones are normally the trial and errors of the parents, and what they see, what works and what doesn't work. So then also, as the younger ones come, the parents are getting older, so they don't have as much energy as they had when the older ones was younger. So when you probably got jumped on a whole lot quicker from your parents on you, but by the time the sibling is coming up, they like, listen.
And we're all 2 years apart. So it was me, then Jean, then Callahan, 2 years apart, stair-stepped, if you will. So the boy, I'm going to say it. The boys got it easy. Shannon, that welcomed you, Shannon. That was this Shannon. The boys have it easy. So, I don't have enough. Agreed. It's cultural, and given the African American experience, it's altered because We receive to believe that the treatment of the boys and girls should look the same based on our public school experience. Outside of, you guys have demonstrated how you both have similarities in the women catering to and catering for men.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm a caterer, or I'm a natural nurturer. So I do take that skill, or I do take that personality trait, that I was raised with, but I need to find parameters and boundaries, because I don't want my son to not think it's okay to take out the trash. I don't want my son to think that, mommy's going to take care of it. She is, but there's a piece where some responsibility needs to be had.
1,000,000,000%. I hold Sincere accountable. I mean, Sincere opens doors. He walks on the left of me. He is quick to give a woman his umbrella if he sees she needs it, give his hoodie off, let the girls on the bus first. So similar to what Jessica is saying, you parent your child based on their personalities and their needs. And there's definitely a place for unconditional love and nurturing. And there's definitely a place for tough love as well. Like in all the nurturing I'm giving you, Sincere, you're also going to know X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Because I'm not going to cater to your every need, because a woman shouldn't have to, because you're going to be a grown ass man one day and you need to be self-sufficient. Okay. And I would like to know that you would eventually at some point in time be able to take care of a woman just like I want a woman to take care of you.
Say that then.
You know what I mean?
Seriously. And that comes from a woman who was raised to cater to a man, but you still have the boundaries, if you will, of Sincere. This is what men do. This is what you should be doing. But Sincere, you're not trying to be his father, but you're also not enabling. And I think that's sometimes as moms, I was born in 83. So I feel like my mom was an enabler.
1,000,000,000%.
And like Aunt said, the first child, I'm a Looney Tune. Definitely trial and error. Had a lot going on. Real shit. Hey, James. So that could be why, I feel all the things that I'm feeling. But, my mom had a village. But I always knew to see about my siblings. I am one of 5 kids, 4 girls, 1 boy. My brother is a go-getter, a real man, even though he grew up in a house full of females. My brother was definitely my mama's baby, though. Yeah. The boys normally are.
Yeah, they generally, if there's an older boy, he's definitely going to try to like maintain that lead, kind of like make sure everybody's the protector of the family. Absolutely.
Yeah. The enabling piece. So even though my brother, the one who was very active, and kept everybody on their toes, if he did anything, my mom was front and center with, you're going to the police station because you drew on somebody's wall, or because you defaced the car. Like she didn't hide him. She didn't, she kindly told them, I'll bring him to you. He's 15. Relax. He's 13. I'll bring him to, my mom was around and she did what she needed to do for her boys. But again, it could be personalities, because no matter her, as stern as she was on me, she was just as stern, if one would think, on them, but they still had their own way.
Right. So, and I'm raising, an older daughter. My will be 23, and Sincere just turned 16. And I try to pour into them the exact same things, like the exact same things you need and want in life, regardless of gender, is the exact same thing somebody else needs.
Yeah. So
like, let's just figure, throw those double standard shit, excuse my language, out, like Maya said, and break these generational curses, because women just don't belong in the kitchen, and men don't need to just be the only ones taking out trash and getting oil changes. We can compromise and do it together.
So there's this business that during our tour I want to go check out. It's called Clutch. It's on Westchester Pike. It's female owned. It's an auto body shop, but it's also a nailery.
You get your nails done when you're getting an oil change.
For real. Oh, that's dope.
So you're gonna get your nails done while you get your oil
get your oil changed. Right. I'm hardest on my older son, yet love him harder also because he needs that. But my boys and I have dinners twice a month so I can show them how I cater. And then we have once a month, they do all the cooking and cleaning for their sister and I. I love that. I love them all the same, but they all need different versions of me as a mom. Jessica, Amen. I love that. I'm taking notes.
Amen.
Super dope. I'm definitely taking notes. Yes, that auto body shop and the nailery. Can't wait to go interview them.
That's gonna be dope.
Super, a lot of fun. And just to figure like how they even connected the two. Like what, it's
genius when you think about it.
It really is.
Because most women are very insecure about taking their car to a mechanic because they feel like we're going to get snowballed with them jacking up the prices. But now if it's all females, we can trust them. And then instead of sitting in a cold ass lobby with some cold ass, nasty ass Folgers that they offer you, now you're getting your nails done.
And the time that you, like you said, your oil change, rotating your tires, all of those things. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for that, everybody. So the entitled adult piece. So some men, if they were coddled or if they weren't given the boundaries per se growing up, Jade, do you feel like those men become spoiled adults because they were spoiled as,
Yes, I feel that
they
become spoiled. Okay. Because as you said, because of the enabling piece, like everybody, male or female, you just need certain tools to get through life. Like you need to be self-sufficient, male or female, you just have to be. And I feel like men who are enabled by their mothers or whichever female in their life, because sometimes it can be aunties, grandmas, sisters, grandmas or whatever the case may be. I feel like then when they get older, and for whatever female that they take interest in, they just expect her to do things the way that their female in their life does things and the way that they do it. So then there's an expectation of a female that she's not even aware of. And then I feel like then it gets annoying. And I'm just speaking from experience of myself, then it becomes annoying.
Okay.
So maybe not spoiled, emotionally immature, I'd say. And I agree with that.
I think it's
that's my daughter. Thank you, Shannon. She is the dopest being ever.
Yes, LOL. Definitely over emotional grown men. So, Deandra, right. So because they are so, because they're loved on in such a way, they do have that overly emotional piece. Yes, Maya, I agree with the emotionally immature. Oh, hey, Maya, LOL. She's brilliant, T.
Thank you. I'm trying to tell you. Thank you.
So, shout out to T on those parenting skills. There's proof.
Thank you.
Hey, Luke, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I'm the same way with my sons as I am with my daughter. It's imperative to get them prepared for the world. I spend individual time with each of them. And I also spend time with them collectively. They each need to be poured into differently. These notes from these dope ass moms, ladies, I'm literally writing them down and I can watch the replay. But I need all of this. And I only have one son, but I want to make sure that he's well-rounded. I know. I want to make sure he's well-rounded. Discipline is a must. Tiff, I honestly can't believe that. You may think you are, but I would be interested in what they would say.
Oh, okay.
Big E, what is your perspective on just the broad topic? How do you feel about the statement, mothers raise their daughters, yet love on their sons? What is your take on that?
So while he responds, here's the thing. there are some men, and I'm not giving men passes, but there are some men that honestly don't know things until you bring it to their attention. They might not honestly know that they are emotionally immature and have these expectations of us because of the women that raised them. So we have to check them, and not in an aggressive way, but we have to bring it to their attention. Like, listen, I'm not sure how you were raised, but your expectation of me is something we need to discuss. Because I've shot myself in the foot by kind of being aggressive, being like, fuck out of here. Like, you know, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And being aggressive. And it was just like, yo, T, like, that's just what I'm used to. And I wasn't aware that I was doing that. So we have to bring awareness, because some men generally just don't be aware of things.
The Big Exclusive Network, they will tell you that, and I'm equally as hard on all of them.
I'm sure.
I agree, Teresa.
Thank
you. You know, these are learned behaviors. So when I give out these devil advocate or these different perspectives, I'm doing just that, just to see the different perspective and how one would think about it differently. And I do think that a lot of this stuff is learned, a lot of this stuff is passed down, but with the here and now and with the generation that we have, we can be the change.
Yes.
To love on them equally.
And hold people accountable, period.
Right. And communicate.
Yeah.
Definitely. Communicating is key to that, because I feel like the disconnect with that sometimes, a lot of time, with the majority of men, they really just don't know how to communicate or express themselves as to like how they need things, as well as to kind of the piggyback off what you were saying, to the next person, so they can know what to do for the next time, so won't run into the same problem over and over.
And deliverance is key also. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So speak to me respectfully, I'll speak to you respectfully. If it's a misunderstanding, we can get through it. But just be mindful of how you say things, because then instantly somebody just puts a defense up, and now I'm not hearing shit you have to say, because the way you said it to me just rubbed me the wrong way.
Right. But in those conversations, though, I think they would be better if each party just gave the other person just a little bit of grace.
Yes.
While you're having the conversation. So then that way, you know, when they say something you don't necessarily agree with or don't like, just be like, okay, just take a second and hear what I'm saying. I'm saying this or I'm saying that. I think each party just really needs that grace and a little bit of patience in order to have those conversations. And that's something I'm working on now, because I'm not the most patient person at all.
My sister.
But I will say, I'm new to this whole mother game thing. My
She's
son
doing
Nasir,
a great job.
Thank you. My son Nasir is almost 2.
Oh, yay.
Like, I will say, I was compassionate, but when I had my son, that made me be a little bit more compassionate. 1,000,000%. Especially dealing with like feelings, because I'm not the most tapped into my own, and I didn't really start paying attention to the different feelings that I was experiencing until I had my son. So yeah.
Okay, Jade.
This is true. Jade is
so it changes you. Yes. You know, now we don't know what it'll be like when you have a daughter or if you plan to have more children. But again, this is the experience from your son. Like, I have a son, T has a son, you have a son. So I definitely feel like I would love on my son differently than I would love on my daughter. I know I would, because I would feel, and I'm conditioned from a learned behavior to make sure that she's self-sufficient and that she's, hello, truth, that she is prepared for the world. And that probably is because I know that there are men who are emotionally not ready. So I want to make sure that she has what she needs to be self-sufficient. Because if not, is she going to depend on a man who's emotionally immature, or a man who was coddled along the way more than the average should have been? We don't know. So I agree with mothers raise their daughters and they love on their sons.
Maya's in the audience, so Maya can tell you. I will say that having my daughter first was by far the greatest blessing, because she has taught me so much on how I'm raising my son, because she held me accountable for all the mistakes I made as being a 17-year-old mother. We have a very open dialect, very open,
So dope.
very transparent. So like, as I'm raising Sincere, Sincere also has his right-hand man, his sister, teaching him along the ways too. So Maya's never going to let him slip. She's not going to let nobody take advantage of him, but she's not going to let him take advantage of anybody either. So Sincere is just super blessed with, all of the amazing male role models that he has in his life. But then he has two strong women, especially Maya, that have his back, because he's not going to tell me everything. He tells Maya everything, and she's always going to point him in the right direction from a female's perspective, but always have his back still the same.
That's ideal. That's a balance.
Yeah.
That's a balance.
But it is, I will say, sons are different, because it's a little more, like you said, you want to raise your daughter to like not deal with no BS, like don't take advantage of you. And you do like really love on your son, but then it's like, damn, well, I don't want anybody to take advantage of my son either. So you got to be equal with the behaviors for both of them.
Right.
I would understand that. I guess I can kind of understand the saying of, we love on our sons, but like raise our daughters. I feel like just from that aspect of, I get why they're saying raising, because we are females and we do understand what our daughters will have to go through and we can foresee what's coming.
Yeah.
Like,
here we go. Talk about it.
Like something is even is simple as, as a female, we get our monthly friend.
Right.
That's something that we have to, coach the little girls. This is something that's coming, and sadly to say, you have to explain to her how something simple as like cramps. Oh, it's just what it is. And you gotta work through the pain. But I get when they say you raise our daughters, just because what she could, not even possible, what exactly she's going to deal with being raised, just the simple fact because you're a woman.
Yeah, that's true. 1,000,000% true.
Yeah.
So it has me thinking of Kerry Washington and her role in Olivia Pope. Her role
Scandal?
in
Scandal.
She took care of everything. So she was, raised, groomed, the whole thing to just fix it. No matter what it was, she fixed it. And there is an Olivia Pope in the White House for every president. There is one. So again, these women, we raise our women to be that strong, that sturdy. Olivia, what to do? Oh, okay, cool. I'll do this. Sorry, guys.
So yeah, I'll piggyback off of what Reach said. We raise our women, again, as Jade, actually piggybacking off of what Jade said, because these are our own life experiences that we don't want our daughters to face, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I didn't really think of it like that, honestly, until you put it into that perspective, and that kind of really sucks.
And it just when you think about, like, when me and you were always talking about even like making money, women come in making less than men.
It's true.
Just because of being a female, a lot of the times, like, if you like, it's a shame, but I know you were saying like throw the double standards out and things like that, but the fact of the matter is, these are double standards you have to tell these girls that you're going to face just so they're aware, or can, won't be so caught off guard, like, so can know how to work through that.
Right.
So, and I bring up Olivia Pope because she was the fixer. She took everything. She was the right hand to that man. And so again, he was the president. She wasn't. So she was raised to do exactly what she was doing, or, those were her choices in college or whatever have you. But you get the gist of what I'm referring to. Like, he was the president, but she really was the mastermind behind it all and cleaned it up.
Yes. And I feel like that's a lot of times, though, like most females take that role, like cooking, cleaning, laundry, doctor's appointments, football practice, track practice, lacrosse practice, picking the kids up, make sure they eat. And I'm not discrediting a man, but I'm also working 40 hours and I'm still being domesticated. I'm still holding this household down. Go ahead, Reek. That's for you.
To go on Reek's point, though, no tea. That's always been the role of a woman of color.
It's true. It's to be the fix it. It's true. We were raised.
You know what, Maya? It's hard. You know, and I can say that at this big age, it was hard.
Yes. Oh, it still is hard. It's still a work in progress to set those healthy boundaries to allow your plate to lessen a bit each day, because it is okay to not be the fix it for everything all the time, because now we become enablers.
Talk to him, T.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta break the cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can easily call and make your own dentist appointments because you're grown. The Jiffy Lube is 2 blocks up the street and to the left. Your light's been on for 2 months. Go ahead and hit that Jiffy Lube up, and I'm going to send you a Groupon so you can get $7 off.
Right.
Start having that equal, healthy balance, setting those boundaries of what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, because the only thing you're doing is a disservice to yourself by continuing to pour into others, and then you don't got shit left for yourself.
Right. Yeah. And then it's sadly to say, a lot of the times when women do that, I don't think it's intentional, but everybody else does not pour into her the way she's pouring into about 5, 6, 7 other different people.
It's exhausting.
It's very much exhausting, and people really don't pay attention all the time, but little things matter to somebody that's like on the go all the time, running here, running there, cooking dinner, cleaning this. Something as simple as you took the initiative to clean the kitchen, or even like mop the floor or something like that, sweep the floor. Just any little thing that you can help scratch off her list be helpful. Mm-hmm. But when people get so accustomed to the female taking care of everything, it's not intentional. They don't even think to, at least let me just do this for her.
Right.
Just, one time. It's more so, she'll take care of it. Like,
autopilot.
Right. Yeah. Right. And again, I do not excuse men's behavior, but sometimes you have to bring awareness, because if you've mopped that floor 20 times and then that 21st time you don't feel like doing it, how the hell was he supposed to know that at that 21st time he was supposed to mop?
Right.
You have to it has to be, like Jade said, communication and transparency. Let's not try to get to our first argument. Let's just try to figure shit out right away.
Yeah. Deandra, Big E, she had made a comment.
Oh, I missed that.
I don't think that it's less love for the daughters. I just think that it came down the line because has mostly been the women having to step up and take care of the family.
Right.
Yeah, my mom wasn't a lovey-dovey. She still isn't. She doesn't say I love you, but she does her best to show me. At the end of the day, there isn't a parent handbook, but the willingness to have and actually absorb the conversations. Absolutely.
Come on, Queen. Come on, young Queen.
She's got it. She's on point.
She is, Sonny.
All day.
I hear y'all loud and clearly. This is insightful to hear as a man.
Good. I'm glad.
Appreciate that, Luke. And for people who are, single, we talk about that often here on the BEN network. We're not matchmaking, folks. But we definitely have different perspectives for those who are single, dating, courting, whatever have you. So I say that to say, when you get to know somebody, ask those questions. They talked about that on their show last night on the Big Exclusive Network.
Thanks.
You have to ask questions. You have to get to know people. We love Luke.
Luke's in the world.
Yes, we do.
Right.
And we got a dope ass Luke, Maya. He's trill. He's all that. So yeah, you have to ask those questions. Men don't have all the answers. as a one, and I think about order and age, sibling, middle child, baby. The middle child, he's got a lot of stuff too to unpack as a middle child, middle children in general. But because I'm talking about a male for me, Tim, he's got some middle child stuff,
Sure.
but that's the way he was raised. So it just, I think, and they were all raised differently, just like we've seen in the comments. And again, in my household, same mom, single parent home, but we all turned out very different.
Yeah,
very different.
And I manifest for the gentlemen in this audience and in this world that they get to a safe and comfortable place where they can be vulnerable with the right woman.
Yes.
That will guide them and give them the right perspective. And it doesn't mean that she's always going to get it right. It just means it is okay for two people of the opposite sex to have conversations on how we can learn one another, because we are wired differently. It's a proven fact. And everybody shows love and receives love differently. And as friends, I think, again, we should hold each other accountable to these conversations. And it doesn't have to be romantical. It can just be, I need a male's perspective. Do I have a safe place to have this conversation with you, and vice versa?
Right.
Boys need men in their lives, real men. So T, I welcome that. I think that we do need to have safe places and safe spaces to have these conversations. So when people do watch the replay, or just when you interact with others, I use the word contagious all the time. If my conversation is positive, if my conversation is warming and welcoming, Jade, more than likely you're going to want to talk to me again.
Absolutely.
So then the conversation, so then you give your insights and the good stuff that we got here in this like-minded space, and we share it with the world. That's
absolutely.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think any conversation is possible as long as the respect is in the room. As long as the foundation of whatever, and the conversation can be whatever, as long as respect is at the foundation of the conversation, I think any conversation can be had. It really can. Because and you're willing to listen, not just hear the person, but really listen to what they're saying. Because I feel like a lot of people fall short, because a lot of people, male and females, actually, everybody really doesn't know how to have a proper conversation. So it's like, have the respect, be willing to listen to their perspective, and don't judge. Like, take what they say and then kind of throw it back at them in the form of a dagger. That's where it kind of falls short at. But if people really just get the understanding of having a respectable conversation, things can go smoothly. I don't see it being an issue with whatever you want to talk about.
Although we do the best we can, mothers cannot teach boys how to be men. They need some kind of male figure. I agree. So, in my home, there were single parent home. My mom raised us. My dad was around, but he wasn't in the house. So yeah, maybe that plays a huge part in how my brothers were raised, or how I feel as the eldest sibling with my siblings, because it was my mom and then me. So I didn't know what a co-parent was. Go ahead, T.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. So I'm just going to say I don't share that same opinion, because I know someone near and dear, and so do you, that is raising two daughters. And if someone were to tell him he can't raise two women, they need a woman in their lives, like that's not the perspective that we want to throw out there.
Okay. I like that. I 100% agree. Here come Maya. I 100% agree. I see it in all my students all the time, how they digest me versus men's staff.
Yeah, I think, listen, I'm not saying that I can teach a man how to be a man. That's not what I'm saying. But to say that, but then not again put ourselves in the same predicament where there is a man that is raising two daughters, then they don't have their mom. For us to tell him you can't do that, they need their mom. We just have to be mindful of how we perceive things. I guess that's just my opinion of it.
No, I can agree with that. But A female can't teach a male how to be a man,
Mm-hmm.
but
that's what I. Right.
a
Go ahead.
female can teach a male how to deal with women and handle women, and vice versa. A male can teach a female how to handle men.
A man can't teach a girl to be a woman. They need the nurturing that naturally comes from a woman. Agreed. So that's what I believe, T. It's not that he can't raise them. It's the fact that he can't relate as a female. But we just do the best we can.
Sure. Okay. That's a different okay. I apologize. I misinterpreted how that was said then.
So I understood it, T, and I'm glad that you made that clear. And I'm glad that Deandra was able to put up what she just said.
Yeah,
and Angry OG. Go ahead.
No, baby, I was just thinking D.
Yes. Angry OG, what did Big E, can you put up what he said again, please? A man can't teach a girl to be a woman. They'll need the nurturing that naturally comes from a woman. Agreed. Just like Jade was getting into how a man can't teach a young lady how to be a woman, but you can be raised, you know what I mean? You can be raised. I think you can raise them. I don't think you can teach them to be off the opposite sex gender roles. Okay.
Yeah. That's fair.
Let's not get our. Maya said, "Don't get your terms mixed up now." You can raise them. Don't get your terms mixed up
with the cats, honey. With the cats.
Okay. Don't get your terms mixed up. Right now, we're going to go into Go Grab Lunch. For those of you who don't know what Go Grab Lunch is, it is a time in our show where we gift an audience member lunch. It's very simple. It's an act of kindness that we do here on the Big Exclusive Network. So do we have a trivia question?
If you could throw up some comments, Shannon, that'd be great. And let's see if Jade, you can pick. And don't pick Maya because I'll already go grab her lunch. But shout out to Maya.
Yes, because Maya's been on fire tonight. Thank you so much for your participation.
Oh, Presidente.
Oh, is it? So I'm picking other people?
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Not the Big Exclusive, but Jess is like the MVP. She wins Go Grab Lunch every time. Oh, my sister. Oh. Who else we got? Luke can't get it.
Luke can't get it.
OG
Angry OG. I loved I wanted his comment pinned. I love that. I'm going to let somebody else get it this week.
I know that's right. Go ahead, Jade.
How about Deandra get it? She had really good points all night.
We'll definitely give it to Deandra. Thank you so much.
Deandra.
Thank you, Deandra. We love you here on BEN, and we'll make sure we get you your Go Grab Lunch.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked Big E a few times, and I think he heard me, but I do want to get his perspective. At least one of them, because sure. he did say he had a lot, but if he could just share one, I welcome to hear it. And if not, we will get ready for next week and we'll convene for the night. But if he is so brave to give us the perspective, the opposite perspective.
I'm curious to hear one though.
Me too.
I want to hear one.
He's very insightful, but we don't barbecue here on Women's Wellness Wednesday.
But while you might be responding, come on, Shannon. I encourage you to respond. You're in a safe place. Let's try daily to like compliment somebody every day.
Love that.
A stranger. People are walking around here. Seasonal depression is real. It has begun. It is going to take a hold and snatch souls. So do your best just to, you have a nice smile, hold the door, hope you have a good day, drive safe. That little bit of something could really change the dynamic of somebody's day.
That's so
and
true.
I speak that like literally from experience. And I just really need people. It doesn't hurt to be kind once per day.
Positive praise goes a long way. I know it fuels me. Really I'll tell you in a heartbeat. Say something nice to me. Did I do a good job? What are my analytics? What are my stats? What am I doing?
words of affirmation is how you receive love.
Yeah, like I need to know, because there's confirmation, especially from people you value. So it means a lot. So if you guys see the bottom of the screen, it says TarikaBright.com. That's my website. Head over there. I can't. I need a few minutes. I'm traveling. Okay. So TarikaBright.com. You can head over. My book is available for free. So I want people to go grab a copy of it. It is freshly edited. You know, I did have some editing concerns and issues, but that's all trial and error, you know, but the clean, good copy is available. It is for free on my site. Please go grab it. Give me your thoughts. I hope that it helps in some type of way. It is an interactive ebook. It's an easy read, and it's a reflective journal, if you will. And it speaks on the 5 pillars of resilience, which are energy.
And it's a good conversation starter.
Yeah.
It really is. To get a group of people and kind of read that thing together is good. Words of affirmations. Me too, Reek Boo.
Listen, please remind me, like, you know, girl, you know, you did great tonight.
Yes.
It goes a long way. It may cause me to send an email tonight that I wasn't going to send.
That part. You know, what you put out into the universe, you get back. And I'm telling you, those little bit of things, they follow you and they bless you. You cannot block your blessings, and continue to bless people, because like I said, seasonal depression is coming and everybody needs it.
Positive energy sparks other positive energy.
That's it.
It's contagious, Jade. I'm telling you, it's just like a cold. As soon as you know, enter the room, make your presence feel known. It saved my life. Say that then.
Right.
Oh, thanks, Big E. You know, when you walk in the room, you know, read the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Period. Say it again.
Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Okay, you can read the room. You know if somebody is needs your energy, and you going on over and give them some. And if it's not received, then you mosey on, because you're going to leave something there.
In another direction.
Period. That's true.
Jade, you can't stay there. You can just leave them with a little something and then go on to the, because what you have is contagious. Your kindness is contagious.
Period.
That's what I got for tonight.
That's so true.
Be contagious in your kindness.
Hey, you look beautiful tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Ditto that.
Right?
I'm gonna ditto that.
And you're gonna have an amazing, amazing weekend. I'm just saying this for live because, you know, I'm going to talk to you today, tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that.
Be a cheerleader. Let's get some cheerleaders in the room. I mean, your shirt, though, when we going to end with this, the shirt's a piece of shit. I don't like it.
No, wait, we
wear
can't.
It again.
Wait, hold on. Wait, cuss me about the shirt in just 1 second. Damn, freak.
Jade, I went an hour and 9 minutes with this shirt.
Hold on.
With this shirt, hour and 9 minutes.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jade.
Yes.
Very busy woman, got a rambunctious 2-year-old. She usually FaceTimes me every night so I can say goodnight to him after his bath time. Again, as I introduced her, she has been like a rib to me. She has brought me through some very difficult times. I'm so grateful she joined the show tonight. You will see more of her because she is a big part of my life.
Yes. Well, I welcome that, Jade.
It was fun to get the other side because I'm normally
thank you so much.
Watching.
Right. We love that you're here, Jade. Please come back. We are going on tour in November, and we will scoop you up to go on tour.
Thank you.
We're doing big things.
I don't really go a lot of places these days.
Well, the one we're going to is in Philly, right, sis?
Yes.
So then, damn.
Yes, please.
Yes.
That's it. We're in there.
Loved your perspective, Jade. Thanks so much, Luke.
Ladies,
gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this Wednesday. We will see you guys next Wednesday with some exciting news and some great new content. We love you all.
Love you all. Can't stop, won't stop. Good night.
Yeah.